Very often in supply chain, you keep hearing about these conflicting priorities, or you keep hearing about all these things that you have to keep working on. And I think it's critically important to, as a leader going into an organization, to understand what are those few things that'll make the biggest difference, and what are the things that really count. Doug Baker likes to talk about that in any given organization, in any given business, there's usually 2 or 3 things that'll kill you, and there's usually 2 or 3 things that'll take you to glory. And part of our job and part of our mission as leaders is identifying those. And so all too often we have 100 different things that we're trying to improve. And historically what ends up happening in any organization is if you're trying to improve 100 different things, or you're even trying to improve 10 things, what ends up happening is half of them get better and half of them get worse. And the reality is which ones get better and which ones get worse aren't necessarily correlated with the ones that make the most difference. And so, part of what we've tried to do is we've tried to implement something that we call the OGSM process. And we've said, pick those 2 or 3 things that are breakthroughs, and then really identify them and drive them. Develop the right strategy. So the what is the goals, and then you've got some strategies to help drive them. And then by driving those goals, you really can take them to the next level. And I really do believe that it's not just that you get improvement there. There have been a lot of studies done that when you pick the right things and you approach them with the right strategies, you get benefits in other areas. So for example, on safety, we decided that in supply chain, we said that safety was a breakthrough goal that we wanted to go off and drive. Well, it's not just safety that you got as a result of that. As a result of focusing on safety, we improved the work that we were doing on root cause analysis. And as a result, people were able to use those same tools to help on our quality. By focusing on safety, we cleaned up the plants. We had better appearance, better housekeeping. Quite frankly, as we identified other losses that we had. So by focusing the energy of the organization on the few things that are important, we didn't just get those benefits, we got other benefits. I think everybody wants to do a good job. I think people are in general, most people, I want to say, really do want to do a great job. But they sometimes don't know what a good job looks like. And part of our job with leaders is to provide clear direction and clarity on what's most important. And I think it's empowering for folks to understand what's most important. And so we've talked about safety, service, and savings, but we went a step further. We said look, sometimes it's hard to choose between safety, service, and savings. And we said we're going to prioritize first safety, then service, and then savings. We really want all 3, but when push comes to shove, we'll pick the order. And I think it's been empowering. I think it's been unleashing to the organization to have the clarity of what's most important so that they can make choices on a day-to-day basis. Because I think it's important to have the organization feeling free to make choices and to really unleash them to go do what's right to do. So, one of the things that people will often ask me is how do you pick the right things? And I'll talk a little bit about, as we came in supply chain, how did we pick those few things? Well, first thing is you got to ask the organization, what are your biggest problems? But I think the magic question, there is a magic question. The magic question is what's the problem you're trying to solve? Get clear on that problem, and you really will make tremendous progress in understanding what the breakthrough opportunities are. And so in some businesses, for example, in our healthcare business, we know that quality is a major priority. And so let's pick that. Let's say that's the biggest area that we as supply chain, for example, or as the business, that we want to influence. And so you got to talk to the business. You've got to ask that question. And quite frankly, is you got to ask the question is if I fix that, does that make the difference? So if you fix that problem, does it mean that we solved our problem? Does it mean that we're in a better situation? Is that really what's going to make the difference or not? So how do you keep people focused on the right priorities over time? I mean, it starts with you as a leader. People will respond to the questions that you ask. And so if you're asking questions about 50 different things, they're going to get confused about what the priorities are. And so, what we've tried to do in supply chain is we've tried to use a process. It's called the OGSM process: objectives, goals, strategies, and measures. And then we have a drumbeat of discussions. We review our results every month, And we start with safety, then we talk about service, and then we talk about savings, and we drive that conversation every month. And it forces us to get kind of focused on that. And it really prioritizes the conversation. And so, we have, you can see it up here, we use our global OGSM as really the definition of what we want to achieve and how we want to achieve it. We have 4 strategies. The first one is organizational excellence. We talk about eliminating all losses through TPM. We talk about standardizing things. And, we talk about supply network design. So we're not just telling people what they need to work on, we're also telling them how. And I think that's also very, very powerful.